There are sections of a song when you're writing lyrics that you have to understand in order to make it a functional piece. I'm going to use the piece that I'm busy recording for Spotify as the example today. We'll go into the other room in a little bit. I'm just going to separate spaces right now. So today we're going to talk about how a piece is put together and then where you start adding like the melodies. Since we've already spoken about microphones yesterday and the day before, now we're going to talk about how to implement the composition with the verse, chorus, or as you would say, introduction, the intro of the piece, the beginning of the piece, the verse, the verse, the chorus, the verse, the chorus. And then it has a bridge, and then you can do verse, chorus, and then outro. But you can actually do it a couple of different ways. So that's just one way to do it. And it also depends on how you've composed the piece. I mean, maybe you've, like me, I composed the actual piece before writing the lyrics. Some people write the lyrics down before composing the piece. I do it the other way around. I create a melody, which is what I spoke about before, and then from that melody comes the composition, and then you can build it up and then break it down again. Okay, so I think before I start talking about it, I'm going to play you my composition. So this is the one that I had done for my master's exhibition. Oddly enough, I called it an exhibition, but it was actually a show and performance with a variety of musicians, and then I had my paintings up, and then my photography was up. And it was just a combination of my subject was mixed identity, mixedness. And I thought the perfect way to explain mixedness was to discuss music, art, and fashion, and all those other things into one array of one vision. So it explained on a visual perspective what genetics and DNA was. Anyway, going back into the whole thing, let me play you the piece. It's called Asia. I might have touched up on it yesterday, so I'm going to continue with it. And this is the piece that we're going to work on for Spotify. I'm just going to do one Spotify piece for now. Okay, and this piece I did compose on my own by myself in a space where I was probably a little bit emotional and confused because I was unsure of how people reacted to my art and music and all that stuff. So this is also pentatonic scales in another video. The song Flower that Jisoo from Korea is doing with one of the lead singers to Blackpink is also doing that song in a pentatonic. I think hers was in A minor. Mine is in, yeah, so an E flat pentatonic is where mine is. So I tried to bring in Asian elements because I truly believe, since I lived there for so long, I have a lot more Asian, and you know, my name is Asian as well, and then I grew up in Japan and all that stuff. Just going back into my history. And going into the subject of the song, there are words and lyrics. So once the lyrics and words are put in, I wrote this. This is adjusted and altered. I think I need to do a lot more to it, but you can hear what I did now. Just to analyze it. So I took out a lot of it, a lot of the composition. I'll have you listen to it. Begins to rhyme while the sun begins to shine. Now the day becomes clear. It's what I've done. People walking in a busy manner while the streets begin to cry. What I've done as I sit at my grand piano. Okay, so I think I have about 4 minutes of this track. I have thought through the lyrics. I need to work on it some more before I actually record the lyrics. I might have to adjust a couple of things on here. But there's a whole process that I've gone through in order to get to this stage of the song. As you can hear, the original was a lot more extended and more piano related. And for singing purposes, I think the song needs to be adjusted ever so slightly for a more R&B pop, kind of K-pop, J-pop, I don't know, something Asian related vocal parts. If I could do this in Japanese, I would totally sing this in Japanese, but I can't remember Japanese to save my life. But maybe one day it will be translated and I'll be able to sing it in Japanese. My goal for this piece was to actually have a song where I could be retranslated into Japanese to sing it as a non-Japanese as a Japanese song, which is kind of like an interesting reverse, right, of what's going on right now in the world globally. So it's generally, so it's an intro, a verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus, a bridge, a verse, chorus, and then the outro. But there are a couple of different ways to do this. It could get very technical, but in my case, I think it's recommendable to start with an actual melody. So my melody. Okay, so I don't know. And then I just heard chords. So I was literally, I had composed this piece in 2003. So it's been a long time of manifesting this and kind of getting to the point of having the right equipment to start considering putting this on Spotify. Now, Spotify didn't exist in 2003, so iTunes did. And I actually did put a copy of this on iTunes, but it's a really rough draft, and I don't want to really promote it because it really needed some work. So I'm back to redo it, to put it back onto the internet on a more professional format. And that's just, so I'm just giving you guys an introduction into my process of where I came up with the idea and how I manifested it and where it's going, and then talking about how I'm going to put the lyrics on. And this actually helps me too, because it gets me to finally do it. Like, I have the time to do it. The summer is here. My students are gone. It's time for me to get serious about my own personal goals in music, which I have never been able to do because I've been helping so many people already. So this is also the YouTube that you guys are helping me. You're listening to my stuff, and I'm helping you guys out, hopefully. And then, to hear what other people think of the song would also be useful. I'd like to hear from you guys as to what you think of the melody. I need to work on the lyrics a lot more. Or maybe it's fine. We'll come up with, I'll figure that out later. Please like and subscribe. Check out my playlist. And then I think once a month, I'm going to do a whole revised professional video, like once a month, of everything I've done throughout the month. So there's like a recap, and you guys can always take a look at the recap and what each month has brought in for the YouTube channel. So some of them are going to be a little bit more professional, and then you guys are seeing my daily thoughts. What I'm doing every day is what you guys are experiencing right now. So please like and subscribe. Today's class was about, not class, today's video was mainly about the song Asia, because this is the piece that I really want to put up for Spotify. I've had my mother, who's a musician as well, says, yes, this is a piece. My husband says this is the piece. So, and they said, focus on one. Don't focus on like 10,000 pieces. Focus on the one piece. And then once it's up and running, then you work on the next. And as my own producer, literally my own producer, I don't have a team. So I have to the team is the advice that I get from people like you guys and my parents and then my husband and all that stuff. Besides that, I am my own team, literally my own team. And that's okay. Don't forget, all these successful musicians probably started the same way I did. They had their own equipment and they set up their own stuff. And they had a little bit of musical skills and they built it up from there. And everybody says, you got to practice daily. So this is like my practice. Every time I get on YouTube, this becomes my practice routine that I'm getting myself back into. So hopefully I'm inspiring you guys. Keep smiling. It's a bit gloomy today on our side. There is a lot of rain. I'm using ChatGPT, and ChatGPT just said that I could actually use it to translate my lyrics into Japanese Romaji. So you know what? We're going to use ChatGPT to translate the words, and then so what I have here is I'm going to have one section of the lyrics is going to be in English, and then the other section will be in Japanese, and then we're going to bring it together. Whoa. Like, if ChatGPT was around back then, I would never have... Like, this is amazing. So I'm going to use ChatGPT. Please like and subscribe, guys. Watch the progress of the song. We're going to put this on Spotify. I am freaking out. This is awesome. I can't believe I'm going to be able to get the Japanese down for a change. This is great. And that's the final touch that was missing, is to get the translations of the song into Nihongo. So I spoke Nihongo when I was 幼稚園と1年生. So I feel as if my translation and pronunciation will be of use for the song, and then I'm going to be using that. So in the meantime, I'll say, じゃあね、またね、さよなら, sayonara. And then please like and subscribe. We're going to incorporate Japanese into what I'm doing. And hope you guys will join me. Okay, sayonara.